Welcome to another lecture of physics. We have been talking about the chapter matter, and I think so in the last class we had taken up the investigation 1.2. So this is our chapter name is matter. This is chapter 1, so that's our writing session 1, and it is the fourth lecture we are taking up today. That is the fourth class on this chapter. Okay, so we have already done some investigations. Now I will be taking up investigation 1.3. Investigation 1.3. No. Now see here, if you recall the previous investigations we had, in the first one we had done what we had concluded. We have concluded that solids and liquids have weight and have mass. I had also told you about the mass and weight definitions. I had made you write also. You must have done it in your copy also. And then in investigation, so in that first one we had used spring balance. I had also told you what is a spring balance. Then investigation 1.2, we had taken two balloons. Then a measuring beam we had taken, means basically a scale. We had made a knot, and then we had filled the balloons equally with the air, and then we have found that the beam was horizontal. We concluded that yes, gases have some mass. Okay, so I think so now there should be no doubt regarding mass and weight, this thing. Now see, in the investigation it is not required to write the topic, or we can say the conclusion should not be written first, because investigation is what? You are judging it, you are performing something, then you are understanding and making a conclusion out of it. So first thing what you is taking is, we are taking a wooden block, and on that we are having, this is a overflow jar. This is the overflow jar, and this overflow jar is standing on a wooden block. This is a wooden block. And see, I think so I made the spout little big, but let it be. And from this spout, there is a, below that we are keeping a this is a beaker, or having some demarcations, or having okay, overflow jar. So we have made a little bit this thing. Now fill the water up to the brim here. So that any water, anything that you put here now will just cause the level of water to rise. So this is your water level. Water level. This is for your own understanding. This needs not to be labeled. This is your, so see again, labeling of the diagram is important. Wooden block, and this is your overflow jar. Overflow jar. So take a glass topper and tie the fine thread. So this is just a beaker. This is a beaker. I think so when you study in the chemistry, maybe in class 6, 7th or 8th, I don't remember properly, but in class 6, 7th or 8th, maybe you study in the chemistry about the different, we can say, components, or you can say the instruments, not instrument basically, apparatus, the different apparatus used in the chemistry lab. So different things are there, like this is the overflow jar. This may be used in physics lab also, so not like it is confined to chemistry lab only, but it may be used in physics lab also. This is a beaker, then burette is there, pipette is there, then tripod stand is there, then Bunsen burner is there. So many things are there in the chemistry lab, okay. Then wire gauze is there, all these things. So these all things are there that have to be maintained. Coming up. So what are the materials required? Materials required. Children, the required materials here are what? These only. Overflow jar, then beaker, then thread. Now what else? Stopper. Glass stopper. Glass stopper. Okay, this much only. Now see what are we doing. So first thing that we are doing here is what? That we are taking this stopper and tying it to a thread. This is a stopper. Glass stopper is this. Glass stopper. We are taking a glass stopper and we are tying it to a thread. Now, since we are tying the glass stopper to the thread, what are we doing is we will tie it to a thread and then we will suspend it and we will gently lower it in the jar. So this glass stopper we have taken and tied this glass stopper with the thread, and then we have gently lowered. See, I am not throwing it. We have to hold the thread and gently we have to lower it. Then what happens? Don't you feel when you gently lower it, the water will start to overflow from the spout? Yes or no? This is a spout. Spout means basically the pipe-like portion, or we can say basically a from which we can water, extra water is overflow will collect here. Now see. So when you will lower this glass stopper gently, then the water which is already on the brim of till the level of the spout, the water will start to overflow from this spout and it will get collected in the beaker. Yes or no? and see, you have to lower it such that it is completely immersed. That means completely immersed. That means no portion, completely immersed means no portion of the glass topper should be above the level of water. It should be completely inside water only. So when it is completely immersed, what will happen? The water which is on the brim only of the spout will start to overflow from the spout and collect in the beaker. Now, if you remove this glass topper and put all this water inside this, again you will find that the same level, the water is filled to the same level. What is the meaning of this? The meaning is that this glass topper had displaced some water. Since we are immersing the glass topper in the water, some level of water had come out, and this water will be collected here. So that water which was displaced by the glass topper will be coming back here. So that water which was displaced by the glass topper is again put here. So whatever is the displaced water that you will keep inside the overflow jar. So when you keep this displaced water in the overflow jar again, that level of water which was achieved before immersing this glass topper will be achieved again. That means whatever was the initial level of water before putting this glass topper will be again achieved. Got it? So the water that has overflowed from the spout, if you put it back, the same level will be achieved. What is the meaning of this? It means that this water, or means this stopper when put in this water had displaced water equal to its volume, and it will be, when it is poured back, it is giving the same level. So thus we can conclude that solids and liquids occupy space. So we can say that solids and liquids occupy space. Yes or no? That is why when the glass topper was put into this water overflow jar which was up to the brim, it had occupied some space, and was there some space to, since it is already filled with liquid, so that space it is occupied. So what happens? The water level had risen up because no space was there. When it is going inside this, so water level has come up. So that extra water has come out because of the immersion. That means since we have immersed this glass topper, water has come out. So it has taken some space. This glass topper has taken some space inside the liquid, and since there is no space, the water has come out, so that the space it had taken can be compensated. So water has come outside. That water, if you put it back after removing this glass topper, will again fill. So and see, water has come out now. So see, once you take out the glass topper, you will see that the water level will come a little bit down. Why? Because when we had put the glass topper, it had taken some space, and that space or that much volume was removed as water level from here, and that water level will be again restored when you put back this water. So what is the conclusion here? That solids and liquids occupy space. Okay. The glass topper occupies space and thus pushes the water outside the overflow jar. Water also occupied space as the water collected in the beaker till the level of its spout. So see here, this is the liquid also, no? It also has occupied space. So what it is saying? The water also occupies space as the water collected in the beaker fills the overflow jar till the level of its spout. So since water has occupied space, when you put back this water, it has also filled up the space regarding this. Now Next investigation is investigation 1.4. So see, in this investigation what we have concluded, that solids and liquids occupy the space. I hope this makes things clear to all. In the next class, we will be taking up the investigation 1.4.